for the second season in a row. And here you see the brackets. The winner here today between the Blue Jays and the Beavers will take on Florida State in Stockton on Saturday. And the 1 seed South Carolina already punching their ticket to California. Hi everyone, Elise Wood. We're joined by my broadcast partner, Mary Murphy. And the Beavers here are just about unbeatable at Gill Coliseum. It's a packed crowd here today. They're 59-6. The senior class here in their career at Gill. What do you think of this matchup with Creighton?
Well, I think it's a great matchup, and what have we learned so far in this tournament? Everybody is capable. This Creighton team, very good offensively, very good defensively. Oregon State must play a whole lot better than they did the other night if they're going to beat the Blue Jays.
It's your Capital One starting lineups for Creighton. The senior Lauren Works, Sydney Lamberty had an outstanding game one here in Corvallis. Marissa Janning, Audrey Faber, and Brianna Rollerson. For the Beavers, Sydney Weiss is the one to watch, number 24, the outstanding point guard. Michaela Pivic, the freshman, will join her in the backcourt with Gabby Hansen, Brianna Brown, and Marie Gulich for the Beavers as well. It is a loud crowd here in Gill Coliseum. They led the Pac-12 in attendance this season, and they have been so outstanding here on the home floor. Again, 59-6 at Gill Coliseum is this senior class.
They were expecting about 6,000, but they're pushing upwards to the top limits. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being 7,500 here. Just an outstanding crowd. It's kind of senior day 2.0 for these seniors. They already had one. This will be their last appearance here, and they want to go out in a blaze of glory.
The 6'5" Gulich winning the tap, and a foul right away. Brianna Rollerson, the redshirt senior, played just 14 minutes, the matchup against Toledo in round one. They prefer a small lineup at times,
which will be very challenging for Oregon State to defend.
Out to Gulich. The jumper no good. Brown there with the rebound. And the second foul on Creighton just 14 seconds into this one.
So the story of the game is unfolding already. That shot that Gulich took, Jim Flannery and Creighton are going to invite the bigs of Oregon State to take that all night long. The offensive rebounds, that's one of their biggest concerns. They cannot allow Bree Brown, or when she comes in, and Marie Gulich to dominate the offensive boards and just crush them with second chance points.
Marissa Janning picking up that foul. She could not have played any better in the first quarter against Toledo. 15 points in that quarter, and Creighton just cruised from there against the Rockets.
It was really in the first 5 minutes and 45 seconds. 15 points over 19 in that just short amount of time.
Contact there, no call. And it's Pivic, the ball in her hands. Pretty pass to Brianna Brown, leading the break. Well done.
And the crowd, you talked about it. We showed up here about 2 hours, 2:15 before game time. They were already lining up to buy tickets. This crowd motivated and very involved early.
Jim Flannery, the coach for Creighton, said they will look forward to playing in this environment. The question is, can you handle this crowd? And a big shot there just to get the jitters maybe dissipate a little bit. That's the redshirt senior, Brianna Rollerson.
She shoots 53% from the floor. We expect to see her much more down low, but they'll take points from her wherever they can get them.
Out to Gulich again for the open look, and that one off the heel, tracked down by Janning.
The concern is guarding Sid Weiss at all times.
That's Rollerson again. That one pops out and there to clear.
Sid Weiss so comfortable with the ball in her hands. We didn't feel like she was very just aggressive against Long Beach State. Looks a little more so here.
Gulich with the offensive rebound. The Gabby Hansen miss. And Oregon State really active on the boards early.
Already their second offensive board. Jim Flannery has got to be concerned.
Oregon State out-rebounds opponents this season by 10.9 boards per game, one of their strengths.
Creighton runs a motion offense, and I mean old school motion. You're not going to see a lot of ball screens. There's one there.
Late in the shot clock, three, and a pretty dump-off pass from Janning to Rollerson.
Creighton's going to compete. They're in a conference, the Big East, with DePaul, with Marquette. They know what a challenge this is, but they are very motivated to play well today.
Good block there by Audrey Faber, getting up to knock that one out of bounds.
Creighton moves so well without the basket. Janning puts the ball on the floor and a nice just dive the lane, catch, shoot. Don't do any more than you have to with the ball when you're a big.
Marie Gulich left open again, but after missing her first two long jumpers, lets that one go. Takes that one and long, but enough offensive rebound for the Beavers.
But you got Marie Gulich thinking already. You're 0 for 3 from up top, and you're thinking, I got to make this, so maybe you start getting a little tight. Could be 3 seconds on Bree Brown. She backs herself back out.
Rollerson bites on the fake, and Brianna Brown takes it in.
Well, you got that right, Elise. Stay down, stay down. Make her take that shot. Invite it.
So 7-4 early lead here for Oregon State on their home floor in Corvallis, Oregon. Over 6,000 people here, Mary.
Sorry about that. To have a lead, and Weiss hasn't even taken a shot yet.
That's Janning well off the mark. She's a streaky one, and Gabby Hansen leading the break.
Gulich, the early post up. They can't get it to her.
That's Hansen, and she is well off. Good hustle play pivot, but it's now 5-on-4 for Creighton. Rollerson on Brown. Turnaround jumper, no good, and it's Sid Weiss.
A key matchup. You get the ball inside. They're not going to bring the double because they're concerned about the three-point shooters. She's got to do the job and make that shot.
Pull up from Sid Weiss. The All-American point guard gets her first bucket.
Second-team All-American, ESPNW, and you can see why. As this game goes on, she will control the pulse. She will be the coach on the floor for Oregon State.
They look much more in rhythm.
They sure do. Much more motivated. I mean, just more in the now.
Double team comes on Rollerson. The crowd begging for a 3-second call. That's Works. Jumper short. Rollerson tips it to herself. And that's Lamberty. No good. And Pivik with the carom.
Oregon State doing a great job off these misses, pushing tempo, not necessarily getting transition buckets, but just forcing the issue. So it feels like a fast-paced, even if it really isn't.
That's Brown, another pump fake, and the dump-off pass to Gulich. Out to Hansen, and that one stays down.
Scott Rourke has to feel a whole lot better about this start than he did then in that Long Beach State game.
Creighton has now gone scoreless for the last 3 minutes, and this crowd is roaring. And that'll quiet him down. That's Janning with her right hand for the natural lefty.
How good of a defensive team is Oregon State? In a game here in late February, they held Stanford to 18 points in the first half. I mean, they can lock you up and lock you down.
That is how they've won games. They will go in scoring droughts, but their defense has won them a whole lot of ball games. 16-2 in Pac-12 play for 3 seasons in a row.
Faber just zoning up inside.
4 on the shot clock. Gulich knows it, takes the jumper and hits.
How good does that feel if you're Marie Gulich? She's very capable, but you start missing and it wears on you.
She had an O-board bucket, but that is her first jumper to fall. She's now 2 and 5. And the defense forcing the Creighton turnover. A good start for the Oregon State Beavers, the regular season Pac-12 champs, and the crowd on their feet in appreciation. Sydney Weiss with the early bucket for the Beavs. That time passing it off.
How about some pants and a jacket?
55 degrees here, Dad.
No, there was frost last night. It was like 43 when he came in.
Well, the frat guys on the way to the Gill Coliseum today out with no shirts on, laying out. That's what you do in Oregon in the Willamette Valley when the sunshine comes out. You mentioned her father, a coach, not just any coach, her high school coach at Pinnacle High School, and you can tell by the way she plays that she is the daughter of a coach. She knows the game. Colby Oram shuffling the feet, and Beaver turnover.
I think what's most amazing about Sid Weiss, beyond the basketball floor, is just there's an editorial in the paper this morning about from a dad and what she meant to his daughter, and people all over this building will tell you story after story. You hear the same thing about Kelsey Plum in Seattle. Two impactful women in the Pac-12 conference, terrific basketball players, but really even better people.
Really good leaders for their program. That jumper short, and it is Weiss with the rebound, kicking it ahead to Katie McWilliams. They have definitely tried to push the tempo.
And they've done a nice job of it. It's just gotten them, I think, a lot more in sync on the offensive end.
There's Sid Weiss, the pullback jump shot. And another offensive rebound. That one for him.
You just cannot float around the paint and hope you're going to get a defensive rebound. You have got to find some bodies, and maybe guards are going to chew up the rebounds, but you cannot allow Oram and Brown and Gulich to go at it.
Well, Audrey Faber, number 45 for Creighton, really talented sophomore post player. It is her job in this game to pull down some rebounds. All Big East first team, and she has yet to take a shot and yet to get a rebound. They're going to need more from her.
But it's a team where they all rebound well. Guards must rebound well. Small forwards must rebound well. It's about team rebounding, but more than anything, everybody must box out.
That's Lamberty. She had a solid game in game one, averaging 9 a game for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, she was terrific in the second half against Toledo.
Hansen with a pretty drive.
Again, you want Hansen to shoot jump shots. You don't want her to put it on the floor because she becomes very crafty when she does.
Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, but athletic enough to get in the lane and score. That foul on Brianna Brown, that's her first. Oregon State with their first foul of the game with 1:45 in the first quarter, and they're a team that is very disciplined defensively.
And they take care of the basketball normally. They don't foul a lot, and they don't provide a lot of easy opportunities. And when you have a great look, you must knock it down. Faber needs to get going.
It is Faber with the ball, kicking it out to the Big East Freshman of the Year, Agnew. And there's Agnew again in the lane with the post up. Pretty move.
She's going to be a special player for this program and in the Big East. She is really talented.
Love her reach at 5'11".
Talk about players with potential. Caleb Pivot is going to be special. You can see the foul on the shot.
And that's Audrey Faber.
Sid Weiss doing all the talking, and when she's done, Gabby Hansen will have a little something to say.
It's Faber's first foul in the game, and I think Creighton right now only down by 5 has to feel pretty good. They have not played well, and Oregon State has been playing with a lot of energy here early. They look in rhythm and comfortable.
Well, 5 offensive rebounds for Oregon State. 5 points off of second chance points. It's the difference.
This Creighton team, a notorious slow starting team, except for not in the first round against Toledo. They came out red hot behind Marissa Janning. But they're not scared to be trailing halftime and make a comeback. That's been generally their formula this season, as they look up and trail by 7 here in the first quarter play, under a minute to go.
So Faber misses that shot, but you can see how it pulls Oram all the way away from the bucket.
Kat Suter, a little hesitation, but she lets that one go. Tracked down by Pivik. Another good hustle play, but she cannot get that to a teammate, so it will be Creighton ball.
You know, it was interesting when we talked to Jim Flannery about what's the key. He gave me a key I'd never before. Usually it's like take care of the ball, make sure you rebound. Who wins the 4 spot? What team gets the most production from that 4 spot?
Clearly, advantage Beavers in the first quarter of play. Here's Janning using the pick to pull up Jay, but blocked. Kat Tudor with a hand on it, 28 seconds to go.
The length of Tudor impacting the play.
So shot clock is off. I would imagine Sydney Weiss looking over at Scott Rueck for the play call. One shot here for the Beavers.
I would say the Long Beach State experience has awakened these Oregon State Beavers for this one. There's the flare.
And there's Weiss, so good. That one short, but guess what? The Beavers there, Marie Gulich, the same time as a Blue Jay getting tied up, and you got 2.5 seconds for the Beavers to get another shot at the hoop here before the first quarter is done.
And that flare screen, the butter, just bread and butter for Sid Weiss when she's coming right. And all Jim Flannery could say time and time again at practice, what are you worried about? Get out there. I need one of you, two of you, I don't care if there's three of you plus the custodians. Everyone's got to be there.
And there she is again, Sydney Weiss, and that one is long. Had a good look, and she claps her hands in frustration. She wanted that one, but she looks up at the scoreboard, and the Beavers with a 17 Syracuse and UConn in some parts of the country. Check local listings for the game in your area, and all are streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
It was just remarkable to listen to Andy Landers just call. He said, A&M's winning this game.
I think he had his Mountain Dew. He was ready.
I think I heard he had several. I love Gary Blair's comments after that game. It's not over till Texas A&M says it's over.
He is the best. He's a good storyteller, that's for sure. This is Creighton. Janning getting bailed out. Foul on the jump shot. That'll be on Michaela Pivick, the outstanding freshman for the Beavers.
You can watch Oregon State on tape. You can watch them in person, but until you are on the floor trying to run offense and score against them, you just don't get how challenging it is. I mean, we were here for practice yesterday. The first hour, they didn't touch a ball in an offensive scene. The whole thing was nuts and bolts defense. How are we going to beat Creighton?
Put some tape on the floor and talked about positioning and where your body had to be against this motion offense. No one in the Pac-12 conference runs an offense like Creighton. I'm going over the details of how to try to slow them down. They've had success here early. Creighton just 11 points on the board here in the second quarter of action. That's Hansen banking that one home.
That's not good news, Creighton. Those are the kind of shots you want Gabby Hansen taking. You want this team to be shooting jumpers, everybody except Sid Weiss.
Nice up fake from Lauren Works, but cannot get that one to go, but a rebound tracked down by Agnew. The rebounding battle in the first quarter decidedly in Oregon State's favor, 15-6. The Beavers had more offensive rebounds than Creighton had total rebounds.
It was not much of a battle, Elise.
You're right.
Nice closeout by Pivick.
A forced there by Lauren Works, the senior, and another rebound for Oregon State. That's Pivick with the pull-up. No good, and finally a one-and-done situation for Oregon State's offense.
Nice moving without the basketball. That is the best example of Creighton offense we've seen so far in this game. Move the ball side to side, come off that screen, show a hard flash, get your hands up, and make Oregon State defend you on the move, create the contact.
It's Marie Gulich picking up the foul, the 6', 5" junior out of Germany. Jim Flannery. Looks like Agnew losing a contact, so she's going to have to be subbed out. That's Jalen Agnew, the redshirt freshman out of Andover, Kansas.
When you talk about this Oregon State program, clearly they weren't happy with how they played on Friday night. And when they got together yesterday at practice, the message from Scott Rueck was, yesterday was what it was. Let's leave it behind. Let's send a message tomorrow. They know the optics weren't good. You're a 2 seed, and you play a game where Long Beach State had 2 shots to win a ball game. The 2-15 game, Their mindset in this game much more aggressive.
It's the NCAA tournament. Matchups are a big thing. Each game is entirely new. I compare it to baseball, where a streak is only the next day pitcher. And this is a totally different style of team. And Creighton and Oregon State matches up much better with this type of style. And so far, they've jumped out to the early lead, 19-12.
Look at the sag in the paint. Just sagging off. It takes away driving lanes.
And Marissa Janning face guarding Sydney Weiss, not even looking at the ball. And the there by Kylie Brown, the junior. Lamberty with a pull-up jumper. Nice hit for her.
Off a miss with a secured rebound. You can run, and they want to be out in that open floor. They're going to be better in the open floor and then transition into their secondary break.
Gabby Hansen with the three ball. A rare three for Gabby Hansen here in the postseason. Lamberty with another pull-up. Sid Weiss skying for that rebound and on the push.
You know where she's going. There is no mystery. She comes back to that left hand. Everybody on the Creighton defense knew it, and there was no stopping. Here she comes, here she comes, here she comes. Foul.
And that foul on Agnew. She had some help defense there, and it was a pretty tough angle for Weiss. Weiss loving drawing that contact and heading to the free throw line, but misses the first. Into the game, Taylor Kelmer for Oregon State.
Sid Weiss talking to us before practice. Said I have a take-home exam due on Tuesday. I probably should get back and get working on it. Tuesday and Wednesday. After Wednesday, she is done with college. Said she cannot wait to focus just solely on basketball.
Sid Weiss had a communications professor, Sarah Sheldrick, that said, I love all these little kids, the old people of different kinds, running up to be a part of the light that Sydney Weiss has. She has had such an impact on this university and here in Corvallis, a little small town here in the Willamette Valley in the middle of the state of Oregon.
And when you have 55,000 people in Corvallis and 9,000 of them, 8,000 of them are in a gym, that's most of the town.
Great support here for Oregon State.
Big possession for Creighton. Have to start whittling away. Orem is working hard on Faber.
Faber, an excellent offensive player for Creighton. She's had very little touches in this game, and once again, the Beavers clearing it and headed to the offensive end.
Scott Ruick would love to see Kat Tudor get it going. She hasn't made a three in the last 4 games, and she's a very good three-point shooter.
I love this matchup right here. Marissa Janning, number 23 in blue, a 5th-year senior for Creighton. And Sydney Weiss, the 6'1" lefty. They're both left-handed. They're both outstanding guards for their programs. They're both the leaders of their squad.
Janning fractured the fibula last year in Austin, Texas against Eastern Washington. Only played 6 games, had to redshirt, and she's looking for a storybook ending.
Sid Weiss will take a seat on the bench, so Kelmer will take over point guard duties. And the turnover forced by the Blue Jays defense.
When Weiss is off the floor, you need to take advantage. You need to score, you need to defend, you need to catch up.
And there was a mismatch. Lauren Works hitting the three. Brianna Brown trying to get up there in time. The small lineup on the floor for Creighton right now, and that time paying dividends.
All Works does is come in and make threes, gets about 4 or 5 rebounds a game, just gets out there and plays hard.
Gabby Hansen, a beautiful take, left hand, and the finish.
We have seen this so much over the last 4 years. Gabby Hansen, the bigger the game, the bigger she plays.
11 points now, 5 of 8 from the field for the senior.
Mismatch. Orem on Janning. Janning travels. Colby Orm is working hard on defense.
She's a senior. She's playing in her last.
And Hunter, everyone thought they would really not have much of a season. Picked 5th by the coaches and the media in the Pac-12 Conference preseason polls. Boy, was everybody wrong.
They have found ways to win with that defense, holding opponents to 34% field goal shooting. And on the boards with over 10 per game more than their opponent. They've just found ways to put one more point on the board than their opponents. An 8-point lead for them is a comfortable one. That's the second personal on Audrey Faber, who doesn't have a rebound or a point so far in this game. And she is Creighton's leading scorer on the season.
At 13 a game. They don't win if Faber doesn't heat up. Bree Brown setting that high screen, looking for the roll.
Good ball movement, and Brown gets the isolation down low against Faber. Scores.
And you can spread the floor. Katie McWilliams back in the lineup. She missed the entire Pac-12 tournament in Seattle because she was ill, but she's back and she can shoot the 3 at 6'2", the backup point guard as well. Stretches it, the great post up by Bree Brown, and very comfortable on offense on this day, Oregon State.
And their largest lead of the game now at 10.
Brown out high, guarding Faber.
Great take by Lamberty. Just put the ball on the deck, straight drive.
So when you spread the floor and you're playing 4 guards and your biggest Faber who can hit the 3s, and you vacate that low post, it's going to open up those driving lanes, and that's exactly what Creighton went to.
No weak side help there.
Well, you're concerned about all the great 3-point shooters, so you've got to just keep your man in front of you.
There's Brown again. Double team comes, she kicks it out. That's Kelmer, pretty up and under, and she draws the foul on Agnew.
And Jim Flannery just cannot be happy with these fouls on shooters. They're just step-throughs. They're just trying to find an opportunity. They're sort of heat-seeking some contact, and they're getting it. Agnew in trouble right now, just trying to find a position, but has none. And boy, if there's one thing we learned today watching games across the country, the impact of fouls and when they accumulate.
Did we ever?
NC State, every other minute, someone was fouling out and sitting down.
3 different players fouling out for NC State in a heartbreaking loss
to Texas. 3rd seed Texas moves on to Lexington. They will play the winner of Kansas State and Stanford.
And remember, Stanford on Kansas State's home floor. The drive and the take. There's Faber for her first bucket of the game with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half.
So this is exactly what we've been talking about. Faber, you've got Bree Brown in you. Brown feels much more comfortable defending in the post. Put it on the floor and attack.
And that's 2 fouls on Brianna Brown, and Marie Gulich heading to the scoring table. But board by Lamberty. You can see a 4-point swing here with the bucket, and that is Agnew with the take, going strong.
This is what we expected from Creighton, but they are finally clicking. And you mentioned earlier, they are a slow starting team. To a player, they talked about it, their coaching staff. They're like, we don't know why. We're really happy when that first quarter's over.
The step back 3 for Sid Weiss. That was deep.
Not a good sign for Creighton.
Creighton had seized some momentum with 4 straight points, but there's Sid Weiss. Here's Faber from the corner, and that one popcorns out. McWilliams searching, getting works on her hip. What a pretty feed with a block from behind, and the whistle coming. I couldn't even hear it in this crowd.
That's a big foul. If that's on Agnew, I think that's her 3rd.
Coming up on the Northwestern Mutual halftime report, you'll see some highlights. Arizona State with a big second half lead, double digits with South Carolina coming back. The highlights with Florida State advancing over Missouri and Purdue, and Notre Dame highlights as well. It's all coming up at the Northwestern Mutual halftime report.
And what do coaches talk about at tournament time? Guard play, decision making, And when you're young in the backcourt, it is tough to win in the NCAA tournament. And that's what Charlie Turner-Thorne and Arizona State learned today. And it's a tough lesson, but boy, did they play well against #1 seeded South Carolina.
That's a big foul for the Blue Jays. Jalen Agnew with her 3rd personal, one of their best defenders. And has been really good off the bench for that team. She's made 11 threes in the last 5 games, but Creighton get a little off there.
Totally changes the game because you can play her at different positions. You can play her at the 4, you can play her at the 3, she can put it on the floor, she can knock down a 3, and she's a great defender. That is a huge piece of the puzzle that's going to have to sit out for a lot of this ball game.
St Wbb, another step back 3, that one no good, and cleared on the board by Rollerson.
Onasan Rollerson to really be impactful when she's on the floor with Agnew out of the lineup. Stagger screen.
Good block there by Brown, and she whips that ball down. It's a 30-second timeout by Oregon State.
As well as it feels like Oregon State is playing, Creighton is only down 7. They are hanging pretty
in the nightcap. You can also visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
See, I can tell you're not from the Midwest. It's Akron.
What did I just say?
Akron. It's Akron.
I said Akron, didn't I? I love you busting my chops
you're
like
from
that.
The Northwest. You're just not a Midwesterner.
I am not a Midwesterner.
Come on now.
I'm not. You would correct me. You be on the ball. Colby Oram putting it through the hoop for 2. And the Beavers now back out to a 9-point advantage.
LeBron James would not want to hear you call Akron. Not make him happy.
Well, there's a lot of things that don't make LeBron happy right now, right? I'm not very high on that list.
Faber inside, cannot get it to go down.
Great hustle play by Works, getting on the ground and kicking that one out. And the bucket by Sydney Lampy, the 5'10" junior from Cottage Grove, Minnesota.
Well done.
There's Pivic for 3, and the crowd is going nuts. We haven't seen a lot of 3 balls in this game. That's the 3rd for Oregon State.
And Oregon State hasn't had a lot of games this season where they have 37 points at half. You do the math, they're on track for 80. That just doesn't happen. I mean,
they've only scored 70 points 1 time in the last 15 games.
I mean, they won a game earlier this year against Oregon, 43-40.
The Pac-12 championship was 48-43. They ended up losing by 5 to Stanford. That was after they put 22 points on the board in the first quarter.
Yeah, there's been games where you really feel like you're giving blood, and then you just say, let's give blood in the other arm. I mean, offense has been hard to come by, but there's a lot of ways. When you watch the NCAA tournament, there's a lot of ways to win a basketball game.
They're checking at the monitor right now to see if Michaela Pivic's foot was on the line. St Wbb's kicking it out. Tough angle there to see if that right toe was on the line.
Guard post. And then horn. Oh, different. Watch play this screen. Okay. You're gonna line the horn step, but it's like a wrinkle to it. Horn should come off this way. And then both of them come get on the ball screen. Alright, come back. She made that 3. That step back 3. So this person's gotta stay with her. Alright, it was a 4 last 2 times. Okay, so horn to the ball screen. Double ball screen. Yes. So both of them coming off this way, and she's coming back over 2 ball screens. She wants to shoot for 3. Okay? You guys got it? Zipper. Horns, double ball screen. Okay, so base out of bounds, twirls, plays, ear, guard post up, coming off down screen, zipper, double ball screen. Okay?
When you bump screens too, don't bump away from the ball, bump to the ball, because then they're like, there's a girl right there and there's a ball. So like bump to the ball, hold your screen, hold all screens, like especially players.
That's a 3.
And we have a 10-point lead for Oregon State. 2-second differential in the shot clock and the quarter clock.
Defensive Player of the Year in the conference.
Poking that one out of bounds. So 6.3 remaining on the game clock, just 4 on the shot clock. This is Faber putting the ball on the ground, but stepping on the baseline. And 4 seconds will be on the clock for the Beavers to try to get a shot up.
Boy, when you're a big and someone's driving base, that baseline is just your best friend, isn't it? Just drop your foot, get it on that end line, and say, you've got nowhere to go. Tudor comes in, 3-point shooter. Hicks on the floor. Weiss on the floor. Double teaming Weiss.
The foul call looks like a hold.
Boy, tough to give away points without even a shot going up. Jim Flannery's like, are you kidding me?
That is a tough break. Amy Richard, the 5'5" junior from Oklahoma City, trying to get her team, trying to force a turnover, instead picking up the foul, and Flannery explaining not the best timing on that one.
Look at Dad is already a little nervous. Mom?
I love those pom-poms.
Pom-pom protection.
Patty and Troy making the trip up multiple times from the Phoenix area we mentioned at Pinnacle High School. So Creighton here has to recover. They'll have 4 seconds to try to get a shot off.
Sid Weiss is like, what's up? And now she starts doing a little dance at the free throw line. I mean, Sid Weiss, getting the crowd going. Now it's like, okay. It's like, here we go, Sid Weiss.
So Sydney Weiss to start dancing during a break and have the crowd just eat it up.
I don't think I've ever seen that. She just didn't, and now she's breaking it off a 3rd time.
Please, somebody start playing a good tune.
There you go.
They heard me. She is a character. Left-handed and just thinks of the world a little bit different. Always a huge smile on her face. I love watching this kid play.
I hope Marie asked Rebecca Lobo at halftime if Rebecca ever danced at the free throw line.
You think Gino would like
with
that?
Gino, like, Rebecca, what is up with that? So they're trying to figure out what sub came in about the clock moving. Maybe they should just ask the teams.
So Oregon State.
We've seen a lot of conferences today.
I'm trying to figure out when Audrey Faber, number 45, came into the game. And she puts her hands in the air and says, what's going on?
Sid looks like Michael Phelps getting ready to do the butterfly. Clapping.
Well, one thing, a free throw shooter can be ice. Is this icing her?
I mean, now she's going to do some jumping jacks.
She's ready.
And now she's going to run a place. Get back to the routine.
She better make this free throw, right?
And back to live action.
We were looking at an illegal sub. Got it figured out, and Sid Weiss, all the calisthenics, has enough energy to knock the free throw down. 2 seconds on the game clock before halftime. Lamberty trying to get that one to go, but it is short, and Oregon State with a 12-point halftime lead, 39-27. The Beavers in control, and we send it to the studio. Maria Taylor ready to break this one down.
I have no idea what they're talking about. Go. There you go.
And when we play our game, when we get rebounds, when we're moving on offense, like setting screens, reading screens, like we're getting good shots, we're playing well.
We have to be aware of, like, on our defensive rotation when we're coming high on weeks, that backside rebound is a mismatch. It's a huge mismatch. You got a 6'5" girl on Lauren, Sydney, Jalen, anybody, me. And like, we just need to be aware of it.
Hey guys. Anything based on bounds, the most common thing to run is a twirl play. Alright? Okay? So Weiss is second. Weiss is first, actually. Okay, ball's over here. Coming around, someone else comes around, and then she'll either come back off that whirl, okay? Or just coming back through an elevator screen. There's no chaser, and those two elevator screens, you probably have to help because we got quick fight. Okay? So circle, loose play, and 24's coming back around. So circle, and 24's coming back, okay? Next time bounce, ran that bunch. Alright? Anything with the ear, alright, it's a fake post up. So Weezy, they're gonna slash her in, fake post up. She's going to set, screen, someone's going to go over here, just come up down screen. That's the fake post-up guard play, come out down screen. The wrist, chaser, don't get too excited down there, all right? Don't let her score either, she's asking for it. So guard, post-up, come out down screen. Here.
This is actually where they're most comfortable.
But look, every team has a recipe for success. For Creighton, 34 points a game from threes and free throws. So far, 5. They need a whole lot more production in those two areas.
Good block by Rollerson on the Hansen drive. Lamberty with a pull-up jump shot and is good. That's a good start for Creighton. A defensive stop, a push with a bucket.
Again, they would like to get out and get that push going and then get into their secondary break and sort of take advantage of Oregon State in transition with some quick hitters.
There's Gulich missing that jump shot that Creighton has been content to give her, but it's Pivic with another hustle rebound.
Boy, where would Oregon State be without Michaela Pivic over the last couple of weeks? She has been outstanding.
There's Gulich. Over to Hansen. And the travel.
And that's what you want to do. A little dodge and fake with her. You want her to put the ball on the floor. A little roadrunner move there. The travel, and you get another possession.
So a block shot and a turnover forced by the Creighton defense in the first minute of action here in the third quarter from Gill Coliseum.
Again, Creighton playing with one of their best players, Agnew, on the bench, but she does come off the bench, but she's got 3 personal fouls. That is very limiting for them.
The trip to the Sweet 16 will be awarded to the winner of this matchup. Audrey Faber quiet in the first half, can't get that one to go, but Anderson there with the O-board putback. She is a different looking player than the start this year, lost 20 pounds. That time can't rotate in time, and Weiss getting the lay-in.
When you're a 6'1" point guard and you can kind of fend off that defender with the help and still make a shot, special.
Sid Weiss now with 10 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, where she does so much of her damage.
Well, Hansen 5 and 9.
It's Lauren Works over to Janning. And a one-on-one for Rollerson down low. Shuffles the feet. But what came first, the contact or the travel? And the officials say the travel comes first. Our officials, Melissa Barlow, Scott Yarborough, and Kevin Heppel.
What's interesting about this crowd is every play, they are right on it. They're anticipating calls. They know what they want the call to be. I mean, they are right on top of the action. Lee Brown down low.
Gulich left open again.
Oh my goodness.
Not even looking at the hoop. Pivot for the baseline, Jay.
There's players who are born for the baseline. Michaela Pivot was born for the baseline. She is outstanding on the pull-up, the three, the drive.
There's Faber coming around a screen. Gulic chasing. Faber had a look, but couldn't get it to go. And Faber now, the leading scorer for Creighton, is just 1 for 6 from the field.
You could feel her bobbling it the whole way. Never really had what she wanted with her hand on the ball.
Hansen trying to get another jumper in, but rebounded by Lamberty. That's Faber with a pull-up J, smooth.
For Creighton to win this game, Faber's got to want to be great. She has got to want to be dominating.
Jim Flannery before the game said his #1 key, the matchup with the 4 position. Oregon State has been really good. And Faber has yet to get on track here in this game. Maybe that jumper will get her rolling. There's Gulic. She gets her jumper to go. She hesitated a lot to let that fly, but that one is good.
But she is a proud player. She is so important for the success of this team. She's got to make those shots. She makes the pick and pop so much more effective when she looks for it and makes it.
Gulic now 6 points, 3 of 8 from the field. Off glass for Faber. Can't get that one to go, but a foul on the ground. And that one is Gabby Hansen, pick her first personal.
Little crash cars.
Gabby Hansen, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year at 11. Took it in there and mixed it up.
You know, it was interesting, just all the discussion after the win against Long Beach State. Her decision, not Ruick's decision, to foul Benton, make them take the ball out because there was no bonus. They only had 2 team fouls down in those crunch time seconds. I mean, can you imagine? You're the senior guard. You got to shut somebody down, and you make the decision on your own. You're going to foul.
That's Gulic. Another look. That one popping out. She's now 3 of 9 from the field.
Agnew on the floor. Oh, beautiful hesitation. And Bree Brown sends that thing right back to Oakland.
Bree Brown, the 6'3" redshirt junior, walked with the seniors. This could be her last game at Gill Coliseum. It is her decision. She does have eligibility, sending that one way into the stands.
But as a post, doing those defensive slides, never crossing her feet, and then just blocking it and staying out of any kind of foul position.
Good take by Faber, but rolling off Gulic there with the carom.
That's what we're seeing all season long on Weiss, just high hedge.
There's Hansen now touching all kinds of parts of the rim, but won't go down.
Can't play even. You've got to go on a run. Get moving.
There's Janine down to Bailey Norby, who's in the game, the 6'2" junior. That's Lamberty with her own miss and follows it in for 2.
And these are the kind of defensive possessions. Can you get a stop, come back and score? You've got it at 10, you get the stop, maybe you get a 3, maybe you get it to 7, maybe you get it to 8. The whole game tips, it changes.
And one thing is that Oregon State had a really crucial 1-point win in the first round, and their starters played a lot. A big 3 by Sydney Weiss, her second of the game. She now has 13 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists.
But we're talking about players who seize the moment. Instead of letting it tip the other way, you just grab it right back and say, this is my game.
That's Norby teeing that one up, but short. Janning trying to get to that one, but her toe on the line. It'll be Oregon State basketball. And that brings us to the timeout. Sydney Weiss putting her hands in the air, telling, get up on your...
It could happen tomorrow for Baylor. Kristen Inigwe, outstanding, but it's got to be a team effort. Michaela Cowling, Asia Thomas has to knock down threes. It's all about decision-making when you play Baylor. You can't make silly decisions. You can't force it into Inigwe because Baylor will take it, and you are off to the races. And how about Washington and Oklahoma? You've done those UW games where Oklahoma over the last 2 games has beaten UW. One of those games, Kelsey Plum, 45 points, and they still go down. I would have to think Kelsey Plum and all those folks up in Seattle are going to be ready to rock and roll.
We had a wonderful crowd last night as they took out Montana State.
We understand it's a sellout already. I mean, if you want tickets in Seattle, you might have to go online and find another way.
Audrey Faber trying to get a 3-point look to go down. Creighton just 1 of 6 from deep in this game. They made 10 threes in their opening round win against Toledo. They were 10 of 23 and cannot hit a 3 in this game against that Oregon State defense.
And they average 8 a game. So it's a big, big part of this mix. Hansen gets the foul, grabbing Faber. This team has got to move. They've got to move as a unit. The ball has got to move better, and they have got to knock down open shots.
And there was an open one right there for Kylie Brown, the junior. Doesn't get it to go, and instead, chasing down her own miss, gets called for the foul.
But what happens is you're not open as much as you're used to, so you start hurrying the shot.
Oregon State's defense, 34% what they allow teams to shoot against them this season. One of the best in the nation.
They are 7th in the country.
Oh, beautiful job splitting the double team there, kicking it out to Pivic.
Small lineup. We'll put air quotes on that. McWilliams, 6'2".
There's Hansen, bumping it over to Orem for the wide open lay-in.
Orem, a senior who has not seen a lot of time in her career. A great success story for Scott Rueck. And for a player we see so much in college athletics, if you don't get your chance first year, the second year, the third year, you just kind of give up and you turn into a bencher. All you do is sit on the bench and bring water and towels to people. Not her. She stayed working hard. She has made a huge impact on this team and this program this season.
Oregon State losing 3 seniors off last year's starting lineup that went to the Final Four, including the Pac-12 MVP, and yet other players have stepped in. That's the 3 ball that Creighton has been looking for all game long. That is just their 2nd on 8 attempts.
Oh, you can see the relief on the bench, like, yeah, this is who we are.
They're going to need to hit some of those down by 12 here with 2.5 to go in the 3rd. Katie McWilliams tries to answer. That's long, but Orem, the senior, tracking it down.
She gets about 5 a game off the bench. 5 points, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Weiss.
Gabby Hansen called for the moving screen, trying to get Sydney Weiss open.
And that's just leadership, isn't it? You just go right up to your teammates, your friends, say, no problem, we got this. And you mentioned it in the pregame, going up to every single player. Hey, don't worry, be happy. Be like me. Let's just play basketball.
Weiss in the pregame today went around to at least half of her teammates, if not more, and just put a smile on their face, cracked a joke, poked them in the ribs, trying to loosen this team up. They looked tight against Long Beach State in round 1, just didn't play the way that they have. But boy, have they played well in this one. 50-38 the lead here in Corvallis. The crowd not liking that call, though.
Scott Rueck was unhappy with that call.
That one going against Katie McWilliams, the 6'2" sophomore from just up the road in South Salem. Her dad was her coach, just like Sydney Weiss's dad was her coach.
Big free throws, again, get it to 10 for the 2nd time here in this quarter. So another opportunity. Can you get the stop? Last time they got to this point, Weiss rolled back and knocked down a big 3.
Lamberty now with 15 points to lead the way for Creighton. She had an excellent game with 16 round 1. They might need to ride the hot hand.
Opportunity knocks for Creighton.
Janning the ball in her hands, really quiet today. Just 5 points, 2 of 6 from the floor. No good on that one, loose ball foul.
But a great look, part of your offense. Shot doesn't go down.
That one's on Sydney Lamberty, just her 1st. She's really played well. 6 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the three-point line in their first round win against Toledo, and then today against this vaunted Oregon State defense. Lamberty 6 of 11 from the floor, 6 boards and an assist to lead the way for the Blue Jays.
Just 2 team fouls this quarter by Creighton. 5 team fouls on Oregon State. But when you're a team that runs the motion and it's more about jump shots coming and backdoor cuts, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities to drive into contact and get to the free throw line.
Jennings picks up personal foul number 2, so no trouble there. No one from either team in foul trouble. Agnew has 3 at this point. Perfect. That is handsome.
Not many games in this tournament that we've been able to say nobody in foul trouble. It has impacted teams greatly. DePaul really hurt when Grant had to go out with her 4.
Rolton with the jump shot. Pulls Creighton to within 10. They haven't gone away yet. They're still within striking distance. 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Corvallis, Oregon, the Willamette Valley. The winner going to Stockton.
Desperately need a stop. Jump ball. It's going Creighton's way.
So possession to Creighton. There'll be 10 seconds differential between the clock.
And Elise, this is almost like football where you're in the red zone. Like, you got this thing to 10, you heading into the fourth quarter, you got to have a score. You got to come down and run some good stuff, get people moving.
Look at
you
this.
need points.
Faber bringing it up against Gulich. She's just going to stop and pop the 3, but no good. Kelmer with the board. And you would imagine with a 10-point lead, they will sit and wait for one final shot.
But 2 opportunities to get it to 7 or 8. Creighton unable to do it.
Double team up high, trying to get the ball out of Sid Weiss's hands. She kicks it over to McWilliams, trying to deny her back. Weiss gets it,
just
step back,
popped.
No good from Gulich.
Agnew got popped.
Both players right now bent over in pain, Agnew and Gulich. Looking stunned. 10-point lead for the Beavers here on their home floor. 10 minutes. We will head to Stockton for the first time in the history of Creighton basketball. The men's or women's program have never seen the Sweet 16. And this pool before the game said they would love to be the team to break through for their campus in Omaha, Nebraska, with about 8,000 students.
Creighton, the co-champs of the Big East. The last Big East team in, DePaul, has gone down. Marquette has gone down.
Sydney Weiss looked like she might have had a look at a 3. Instead, the ball moving to the other side of the floor and flipped back. A very patient Oregon State offense here with a 10-point lead in the fourth.
And a super saggy man-to-man. I mean, it looks like a zone because it's so saggy. They are just laying off Oregon State player after Oregon State player. One player they are not, Sid Weiss. All eyes on Weiss.
Kick ball means the shot clock resets to 15. He splits the double team, kicks it out to Hansen, who's been hot in this game. That one long. Kicked out to fellow senior Sid Weiss. Every possession going down to below 10 seconds on the shot clock. That time, though, airmailing the pass is Brown, and that'll be a turnover in Creighton basketball.
Scott Ruick, there was no reason to relax. 10-point lead, a 3-point shooting team. Can Creighton heat up?
Agnew is a good 3-point shooter. That one long, and Brown there to snag the board.
Cannot hit the shots they need.
Creighton now 2 of 9 from the 3-point line. They average 8 makes per game from deep.
Bree Brown has been in that lane for 5 seconds.
Can't get it to go. Creighton with the ball anyway.
She was hurrying because she knew that. And listen to this crowd.
percentage of over 80% and nearly unstoppable here at Gill. But a bucket there by Lamberty. Has she been good in this game? 17 points for the junior, 7 of 12 from the floor.
So with 8 minutes left in the game, Creighton finally gets it under 10.
Lamberty had 26 points and 15 boards against Marquette in the Big East tournament. He's going to need a lot more. Gulich with another bucket.
The beauty of being able to go to your left hand inside. You hold off the D with the right and you finish with the left.
Gulich now with 8 points, 4 of 11 from the floor. Rollerson, a lot of white shirts surrounding her, but she can squeeze that one off for the bucket.
She was great at finding angles.
So an 8-point Oregon State lead and the ball.
Janning, your job, if you choose to accept it, is do not allow Weiss to hit any big shots in the fourth.
There's Gulich. Off the dribble rather, with the jumper. And Sydney Lamberty there for the rebound and to set the Creighton offense down by 8. Oh, what a take by Sydney Lamberty, and her bench going nuts. A 6-point ball game with 6.5 minutes to go in Corvallis, and Scott Rueck wants a timeout.
The Blue Jays will knock her away as they meet their team at midcourt.
So a 6-point lead has been whittled down. Creighton feeling all the momentum right now. Scott Rueck wants a timeout, and he will get it. We'll be back after this.
I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Purdue starting this season slowly. Look at the team that they have become. Sydney Lamberty trying to put this team on her shoulders. The Blue Jays trying to earn a bid to the Sweet 16 for the first time in their school's history. 19 points for the junior, 8 of 13 from the floor. That's Hansen going glass. And out of the timeout, exactly what Scott Rueck wanted. Drawing something out, getting a pretty easy look for his senior Hansen.
We talked about it earlier. Big shot gathered.
Rush shot there from Lamberty with the defense closing.
Oregon State team that went to Stanford and won there for the first time ever in the history of their program this season. They have played in a lot of close games. They've been tested by a lot of different teams in the Pac-12 conference.
Kobe Oram left at the free throw line, instead takes it in the lane where she is denied. Pivot open for 3 and knocks that one down. The Beavers now on the line, so not a 3 ball, just a 2, but the long jumper from Pivot is good. She's got 9.
Scott Rueck says he sees a lot of Jamie Weisner and Michaela Pivot. 5'10" from Linwood, Washington.
That's Janny going with her right hand at about the free throw line. Good versatility. He was the Big East Player of the Year as a sophomore. Though with a broken leg last year, a fractured fibula, coming back here. This is her 5th year with the Creighton Blue Jay program. Foul on the ground.
Change of hands. Kind of put the shoulder into the body of the defense.
It's a good one. The Beavers with an 8.
Check all those boxes.
You know, she has been an outstanding player for this Oregon State Beaver program. 101 made threes this season. She's the best the Pac-12 has ever had. The turnover there by Oregon State. Janning with the steal. They're trying to push tempo and get something going. They need a big run against this vaunted Oregon State defense. The pull-up jumper there touches nothing. And Weiss with the ball, heading the other way.
Boy, you got to at least get it up on the rim. Give yourself a chance for an O-board. Just wonder, Janning just chasing Weiss this whole game, how much that has just taken out of her gas tank.
You can imagine Scott Rueck in that last time out saying, work, the clock. Work the clock. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gulic hits the little bunny, but Oren there to grab the balls, the steal, the turnover from Rollerson, just trying to get it to the outlet, maybe a little quicker than normal because of the 8-point deficit they're looking at.
Tried to go over the top, and there was no free air that direction.
So Oregon State will chew on the clock some more. Under 10 on the shot clock. Orem with the jumper, has to take it and nails it. That's a senior.
If you're a senior, you're on the baseline, no one's guarding you. You have to take the shot, and you make it.
Orem 3 of 4 from the floor, 8 points and 4 boards, playing in her final game at Gill, and now come down with the board.
And the crowd here feeling it.
There's Reese down to Gulic. That one close. And a timeout by Jim Flannery. His team down by 10. Just 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in this one. Sydney Weiss over here.
I have no idea how you decide what's the best one. There are so many good ones online.
Go check it out and make sure to vote for your favorite hand clap hoopla video. Well, a good one here. 3 minutes to go. Oregon State with a double-digit lead.
Beautiful
Agnew
cut.
getting down low, and she draws the foul on Pivot. Stops the clock.
And that's called just getting down, designing the play, executing. Balls there. Weiss leaves early. Agnew. Chance at the free throw line. And when you can score with the clock stopped, when you're down, that's the best way to score.
Agnew is 76% free throw shooter on the season. Drills the first.
Here's the problem for Creighton. Normally you'd say, oh, you need a full court press here. You need to force a turnover. That's not what Creighton does. That's not what they're about. They're going to try it.
Agnew with 4 fouls. She's guarding the ball right now, so if they're going to try to pressure, she cannot be too aggressive, and nearly there. Gives her feet in the air. Reaching again.
1-2-1-1. Sid Weiss just busts on through it. Both teams with just 1 team foul.
Pretty pass by Sid Weiss down low. Orange can't get that one to go. And favor with the rebound.
Make somebody besides Weiss beat you.
Creighton's going to need to hit some threes to get back in this one. Down by 8 and just over 2 to go. There's Agnew with a strong take. Nothing. Gulic with the board and the ball in the hands of Weiss.
Well, it's one of those shoulda, woulda, couldas. You make that shot, you're down 6. You get fouled at maybe it's 5, but now you got to dig in your heels, put your palms on the floor, and play some deep.
Gulic strong on the boards today, now in double figures. 10 boards to go along with 8 points.
You need to be in a hurry.
Orem left wide open again. Can't get that jump to go. And Janney, the red shirt senior, with the ball in her hands. Another timeout by Jim Flannery, Creighton's head coach, a Creighton alum. 15 years, the head man of the Blue Jay program. Old Briscoe, they'll have breakdowns from all of the men's and women's tourney games, plus everything from the NBA, NHL, WBC, spring training, NFL news, and everything else. SportsCenter at night. Up next on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. This crowd is loud on their feet, trying to urge their team to get a couple more stops and head to the Sweet 16, and they get one there.
Marie Gulic with the defensive play, and you've talked about this, just how important she is in the interior defense, how well she understands angles.
I think she moves laterally so well for a player 6'5". The Germany native came over here and has integrated herself so well into this defense. Remember, this is her first year as a go-to player for Scott Rueck. Ruth Hamlin, 6'6", the 2-time Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, now in the WNBA, and she has filled those shoes. Checking to see who the foul is on. Remember, Agnew with 5. Looks like Lauren Works is the one that gets there. And that is what Jim Flannery is hoping, because if that is called on Agnew, she's gone.
This review should not take that long, and certainly benefits Creighton because they're getting a free timeout here. They were down to 1.
Remember, in a game like this, the new rule put in 2 years ago in college women's basketball, you have to save a timeout, because if this game does get close for Creighton, to advance the ball, you can advance it all the way into the front court if you have that last timeout remaining.
And we saw that in the NC State game. No timeouts left. They had to go length of the floor. They needed 3 points, and boy, not having it, it hurt.
So Creighton trying to push the pressure. Remember, Agnew with 4 fouls. She cannot foul here or she's done. Getting it across with about 2 seconds to spare. Here's pivot. Down low to Gulich, and she finishes with her left hand, and that might put a 10-point Oregon State lead. Just over a minute to play. The Beavers looking to go back to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd year in a row. And boy, would they love to be in Dallas.
Creighton trying to foul, but only 2 team fouls. Just letting it go. Orem
can't get the little bunny, neither can Gulich, but once again, it's been the theme of the day, the rebounding rules for the Beavers.
And Gill Coliseum rises as one.
Full timeout called by Jim Flannery, and it's just going to give time for this crowd to get on their feet in appreciation.
State in Stockton, a Florida State team that scores 80 points a game, that lost to UConn by just 2 back in November, and a point guard that shoots 52% from 3-point range.
Romero is a good one, that's for sure. What a point guard matchup that will be. Reese and Romero, if they can hold on this one. Gabby Hansen flipping it over to Sydney Weiss.
The last few seconds on the Gill Coliseum floor for Sid Weiss, Gabby Hansen, and Colby Orem.
Creighton has no reason to hang their heads. A great season for them. Big East champs in the regular season. Heading to the round of 32. You're going to see a lot of emotion. The seniors from Creighton who have had a wonderful season leading this team here. Just a couple seconds remaining in their careers. Elation on one side and the biggest disappointment on the other. And Sydney Weiss, so classy.
5th-year senior, Janny. Dogged her all day, tried to slow her down. And the first thing she does is point to the crowd.
After giving a hug to the 5th-year senior, Marissa Janning, thanking this crowd that came out in force to support this Oregon State team. Almost 6,000 fans here on a Sunday afternoon. You mentioned it, Mary. Only 55,000 people live in Corvallis, tucked in the Willamette Valley here in the middle of the state of Oregon. So many of them here wearing orange and black, saying thank